Right as I make a video talking about finally a way to farm legendaries, and then my prediction where I said Blizzard is probably going to adjust this farming method. They're probably going to make it a lot harder, or they're going to make it take a longer amount of time to, finish and complete. The Lego thing that they started in Legion is something they're not following through in the next expansion. They said it wasn't as good of an idea as they thought. The original idea for Legendaries was to be like a casual RNG way of just getting, some sweet new gear, yay, but they know, and they said before, that it didn't work out well. And guess what? On Wowhead, literally the next day, they said they're going to hotfix where it takes you longer, more awakening essences that you need to farm before you can synthesize a legendary. They also want to decrease the amount of these awakening essences you get from various types of content. On top of increasing how much the synthesis for legendaries is going to be, and decreasing just how much of it you earn every time you try to, let's say, kill a boss, do a heroic dungeon, get your caps out for the arena in 2s and 3s, just the amount of essences you earn for doing all the events in World of Warcraft. They also want to discourage players from being able to stock up on these awakened essences. So maybe you might have Jimmy in the game who just hasn't been lucky. He's playing as much as the next guy. He's a hunter, he's been trying to figure out his class, he's been trying to get the best trinkets, best stats. He's playing and he's progressing through normal or even heroic on Taurus. And he really needs that best in slot legendary to finally see some amazing numbers. And Jimmy is just not lucky. There's zero bad luck protection for Jimmy, and he's thinking that, okay, finally, I might at least get a third legendary. It doesn't matter if it's a bad legendary, at least I'll be that one step closer to get him a best in slot. And you might have to get through so many of these awakened essences to finally get your Lego so you can play the game how other people have been able to play, and now he doesn't really get to. Now Jimmy doesn't really get to. There was a lot of issues with the legendary system, and Blizzard said it wasn't a good system. That's why it's not going into BFA, and a lot of people are happy. It's a RNG based system that literally on a random chance will allow some people to get a specific piece of gear that actually changes your playstyle. For some specializations, these legendaries that change your playstyle completely are more important than you think. For example, an Outlaw Rogue, you can do well if you have literally any of the healing legendaries. Let's say, for example, you get the pants and Pride as the neck. You can do fine, you have decent stats. It's not great, but you'll do a okay-ish. But if you have the bracers and the shoulders, the game changes altogether. Now you have some burst and you have a little bit more consistency in damage. You're generating generally a lot more combo points, and even if you have bad stats, that 2 legendary combo of shoulders and bracers really does up your gameplay. Or Fire Mage, take a Fire Mage for example. I have a mage and I played Fire, and I tried to play Fire, and I just can't compete with other mages that are the same item level as me. But those guys have the bracers for Fire Mage legendary. Bracers that directly affect just how much damage your Pyroblast does. Without those bracers, I might as well play Arcane and Frost, because those specs do better without specific legendaries, at least for single target, while for Fire, I am really gonna want to get those bracers, and there's really no chance. It's literally random draw of the card or random roll of the dice if you'll get a piece of gear that changes your playstyle almost to its core. The reason this is done is so that players have a reason to continue playing the game. If they take longer to farm every legendary they need, they're probably going to continue to stay and subscribe to the game for a hell of a lot longer. Yes, there's a patch 7.3.5 coming out, there's going to be a whole new leveling experience, but most people have stated they are just waiting for allied races, and unless allied races are happening in 7.3.5, most people are probably going to take a break, with this being the last patch, even with the story of artifact weapons. And I guess it makes sense, but I still don't agree with it. It's a system that they have said is not that great. It's a system they have said that is not happening in the next expansion. So, I don't know. It just feels so weird to continue this whole legendary thing going for however long that it's been going, I guess. I personally think this kind of system should have came in a while ago, when people started talking about the RNG problems of legendaries. And why hasn't it happened earlier? I think it would have helped a lot of people because yes, it would have been RNG and would have been a long farm, but at least at the end of that long farm you would have had at least a dedicated extra legendary. And let's say you were unlucky or you simply don't have the time to play the game a hell of a lot, at least eventually you'll get to the point where you can finally get some of the legendaries and some of the abilities that change your playstyle in such drastic major ways. We can finally experience the game as it was meant to be experienced. Because obviously a lot of these classes were made with legendaries in mind. Blizzard were expecting for people to swap and switch around a lot of legendaries as they play their class. And I understand stuff like maybe, oh, this legendary is good for single target rotation, but like a slight increase. And then another legendary might be better for survivability that you would take maybe into a Mythic Plus environment. Stuff like that would have made sense, but some legendaries actually increase classes DPS. So with it being last hurrah for the patch, for the expansion, 7.3.5 being the last patch, I guess Blizzard decided not to buckle down. They decided to kind of double up on their legendary fiasco. I'm not a huge fan of it. I can't say I'm a fan, and for me, I've been pretty lucky with legendaries, but there's a lot of stories of people that come to the streams or come to the Discord groups or comment in the comments below where they're just unlucky with legendaries. They're asking me, hey, how can I make the Mage Tower work? Dalaran, how can I play the Mage Tower as an Outlaw Rogue? And instead of telling them, oh, it's all about skill, it's all about commitment, it's all about learning your timing, it's all about learning the fights, even if they know the fights and if they have the timing perfect to the T, in the end, they won't really be able to do much unless they have some decent bursty legendaries or if they outgear the content. So, I don't really know what to say from there, but that's really about it. I just kind of want to rant a little bit on it because I don't understand what Blizzard's doing sometimes. This was a weird move and I was kind of hoping they wouldn't. Even though I said they probably are gonna do it anyway. I was hoping in the back of my mind that they're just gonna leave it alone, let people finally get their legendaries and just kinda end it on a good note. But you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I am working on a bigger video, checking out the PTR Iron Man leveling, and took the time out of that video editing to make this one, because I felt like it should have been said. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed these kind of coverages or rants, go ahead and give this video a like. If you agree with me on the legendary fiasco and you don't agree with Blizzard and what they're doing, give this video a like. If you do agree with Blizzard, go ahead and dislike it. Hey, we'll utilize the comment area in order to have you guys decide whether you comment or not, how you feel on it. Comment below your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Hit the notification bell to catch the live streams as usual. And I'll see all of you guys in another video.